Well, hello tubers. Today we're going to talk about the Power Talkie, and we're going to do a performance review because I know many of you actually have been awaiting that. I'm sorry it's taken several weeks to get around to it, but I've been very busy with a lot of time demands, and as you all know, I'm getting ready to leave Canada too, so sorry about that. But the way we're going to approach this is we're going to have me talk about my experience with it, and Stevie-O, who many of you remember from my previous videos, he's going to talk about his experience with it because he helped me test this unit. So it's an interesting product. It allows you to text off-grid, meaning that the entire cell system could actually fail, and you can text with this unit on your phone or your smartphone, whether it's Apple or an Android device. It will work that way. So you can use it for search and rescue or out in the forest, or if the entire grid collapsed. So kind of unique product for that. One of the first few products that is like this. So let's get down to it, and I'll tell you my experience.
Walking down the shore, diving head first down to the ocean floor. Your dark brown eyes reflect fire.
So first of all, the Power Talkie. I did talk about this a few weeks ago in terms of how it was built. Very well built, nicely designed. The worst thing I can say about it is the actual manual needs to be redone. It was like it was designed by the developers or the engineers. Not very user-friendly. I'm reasonably tech-savvy, and I had a bit of difficulty because the manual was very ambiguous and not explicit enough. And you really need that for a product because you're going to spend, a few bucks to buy this, and you want to take it out of the box and use it immediately. And I know Power Talkie has put up a tutorial video which definitely helped me, and I've been in communication with them, and they've been very nice to me in explaining how to use the device. But there's a bit of work to be done and a bit of tweaking with the app, because there's actually even some Chinese language even on the app still, because this was from China and it was sent to me from Hong Kong. So a little bit of development on the app and a really better manual will definitely win more happiness from all the users. Otherwise, it could be a miserable fail if you don't develop that manual on a better level. Because let's face it, the people that build these are not the people that should actually be writing the manuals, because that's a different skill set. Engineers and electrical people and developers are a really different kind of group than the language experts at writing a good manual. So a good manual will definitely help and improve this product tremendously. Now, secondly, on my first attempt at using this with another Android phone, so I was going Android to Android, the way this device works is you can actually talk off-grid, meaning that you don't need a cell phone network. You could use this in the forest, in the middle of nowhere, or if the grid completely collapsed. You can actually communicate by voice and by text, and even send geolocation messages of where you're at in the event of an emergency, so you can send an SOS message. Now, my first experience with connecting two devices to communicate, the devices were only about 3 or 4 feet apart, and I would say only 1 out of 3 attempts to communicate did not go across, and they had failed messages. There's a weird phenomenon that's going on with these devices when they're close. I don't know if it's because of electrical magnetic interference between the two devices, but only 1 out of 3 messages would get through. But if I took the devices and separated them further, by 30 meters or 50 meters or even a kilometer, it would actually work fine. A weird idiosyncrasy I need to tell you about, which who cares if it doesn't communicate properly when it's only 5 feet apart, because obviously you're with both devices. My first impression was, oh my god, this product sucks. But once I actually tested it apart, it worked more appropriately as it was supposed to. So I don't know what the deal is with that. I'm only speculating that maybe the two devices were, interfering with each other with the app or something. I don't know, but I need to tell you this because it's part of the review. So I did manage to test the devices no more than about 1 kilometer apart, with trees and forest in the way, and it actually worked fine. You could send text messages between devices with no problems at all. And the SOS feature I really, really loved. The way that works is you can actually activate an SOS feature, and it will keep texting over and over and over until it's deactivated with the actual geolocation on a map of where the user is. So if one of you had one of these devices and you activated it, they would know where you're at, and you don't have to keep pressing a button. It would just keep sending until somebody actually stopped sending the device, either the receiver or the sender. I believe the sender actually has to stop it, but I'm not quite clear on it. But it worked fabulously with the actual geolocation, so I like that. And the voice communication system works fine. Now, it doesn't work by pressing on the button like a walkie-talkie. No, it doesn't work like that. You actually go on the app and you hold a button and you send a voice message. So it's completely digital. It sends a small data pack of whatever you said for a message, and it sends it to the other unit. Very unique. It does work. I had a little bit of difficulty at the beginning, but I figured it all out, and it worked just fine. It's a bit quirky in the beginning to get used to, but once you understand how it works, it's fine. So when it comes to the Power Talkie, I do like it. I like everything it does. The text messaging, the SOS location, the geotagging. You can even use it to charge other devices from the lithium-ion battery that's built in. I like all of it, and it seems to work. It's not perfect. There's a little bit of work to be done, guys, so you Power Talkie guys, I know you're going to see this video and you're going to actually have a meeting and talk about it. You need to just improve that manual. You need to put even a slightly better video tutorial up that's slightly better to explain how to use it. And there's a little bit of software bugs on the way the app is designed. You might want to consider making it a bit user-friendly. Because let's face it, you're selling to the average consumer, which averages are a funny thing. That means the top half of the average are really bright, and the bottom average are not so bright, and the rest of us are in the middle. So you need to get the app really down and user-friendly, and introduce a bit of simplicity to that, so that people can just buy it, open the box, follow a few simple instructions, and have it working and working right. That's my suggestion. So I'm going to turn it over to Stevio now, and he's going to talk about his experience with it and what he thought.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the sunny Fraser Valley of British Columbia, where the weather is absolutely beautiful today. A short while ago, my good friend Line Screw coerced me into doing a review of these. It's the Power Talkie Talk Freely Without Network. We started this about 5 weeks ago, but I unfortunately had to go to Alaska on vacation. It was awful, I tell you, awful. Just kidding. And so we've only just got back together to figure out if these things actually work. Well, we tried it today. It does work, the communication does work, but there are some problems with it that I see. First of all, as you can see, it looks like a walkie-talkie radio, which in fact, that's just for show. There is nothing to walkie-talkie about this at all that we can figure out. And it has a problem finding other people that are nearby. It took us a good couple of weeks to figure out exactly how to program our phones to work with the Power Talkie to get it to actually communicate with each other. There are several steps you have to go through, and the instructions are not very clear at all. They are in English, but not good grammatical English, shall we say. Saying that though, after we got it working, it did work. I was pressing the button trying to talk to Line Screw, and then I was realizing I was getting texts from him, and the texts were exactly what he was saying, and there was a little sound bite in there. I could press that on my phone, and I would be able to hear what he was saying. So I tried that. We went a couple of 100 yards away from each other, and it did work. It's very spotty. I wouldn't trust it if I was in the bush, to be perfectly honest. But who knows? Maybe it's good for you if you're just around town, or you're on a vacation somewhere and you want to keep contact with your loved ones. It's nice and lightweight, fits easily into the pocket, and for what it is, I can't say it works well, I can say it works. But you know, it's up to you, you get to try this. Well, that's my review of this Power Talkie, and once again, from the beautiful Fraser Valley of British Columbia, stay safe, keep yours on the ground, and hey, let's be careful out there.